What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, I'm going to talk a little boxing, a little bit about the business of boxing today. And the reason I'm going to talk about it is I just read an article, it was on Boxing Scene, that talked about Dazn entering into boxing creates a healthy broadcaster competition. And it's by Corey Erdman. Came out early this morning. And it's clearly a plug for Dazn. And there's a lot of people that think because I get on Anthony Joshua for ducking Deontay Wilder or Eddie Hearn for lying like a rug on a consistent basis and being able to predict the lies that he's going to tell next, that somehow makes me unfriendly to the idea of Dazn. And that's not the case. Dazn in and of itself, I have no issue with. I don't like the fact that Eddie Hearn is associated with it and is the poster boy for it because of the disrespect that he showed for American boxing, boxers, specifically Deontay Wilder. But this topic isn't about that. This is about the fan worship of the business of boxing and what I believe to be a fundamental lack of understanding of the parties involved, of who the parties are involved in a boxing match and the value that's created, who's paying the money, who's creating the value. And the streaming services, and I don't care whether they're streaming or whether they're lineal or whatever the word that people use, the new fancy words that people use for the same thing. They're networks. You can call DAZN a stream. You can call HBO a network, whatever you want. It's the people that are producing the fight and letting you watch it on a little screen. And that little who provides you access with the view to be able to view the fight, whether it be on a little phone, through a streaming service, or whether it is on a television in your living room and comes with a subscription to HBO where you get other things. It doesn't make a difference to me. I don't see a 2 cents worth of difference between DAZN and Showtime when it comes to boxing. As a boxing fan, I would have to pay for DAZN. I have to pay DAZN. I got to pay ESPN. I got to pay Showtime. I got to pay HBO. I got to pay for the pay-per-view. Those are all the different people that I have to pay to watch boxing. And it's my money that they're talking about at the end of the day. Just like if you're a boxing fan, it's your money. And when you're paying your money, you should be able to get the most value possible for your money. And in boxing, that means to get to see the best fights. The best fight the best for your dollar. Not, I can see 30 mediocre fights for $5 a month on this channel. I can see 10 mediocre fights on this channel for $5. I can see 10 mediocre fights on this channel for $10. Then on this channel, I can see 2 good fights and 6 mediocre fights on this channel. And then I can do the same on the 4th channel. And then for a big fight, when I really get a good match that I want to see, I can pay a one-time fee for that of $50, $60 for that one. That's what it is now. When you have DAZN and you have ESPN and you have Showtime and you have HBO and you have HBO pay-per-view and you have Showtime pay-per-view. As a boxing fan, you have all of these different people competing, but there's you can have an infinite number of channels and networks. but you have a finite number of good fights that can be made. There's only a certain number of top quality fights that you can get. And when you have multiple networks, it's already bad enough with just having multiple promoters. Now you've got multiple promoters and multiple networks. And now, instead of having just 2 major networks, now you've got 5 major networks. So you not only have to, in order to make a good fight, you got to get 2 fighters in the ring that want to fight each other. But when the 2 fighters want to fight each other, now you got to make sure that the 2 promoters want to work with one another. And now that the 2 promoters want to work with another, you got to make sure that the 2 networks want to work together. And if one is on in the UK, right now you have a situation like with Anthony Joshua, where if Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder wanted to fight one another, then you just have Deontay Wilder, who's his promoter, dealing with Eddie Hearn, who's Anthony Joshua's promoter, and you have Sky Sports dealing with the TV rights in the UK, and you got Showtime dealing with the TV rights in the United States, and them coming up to some of the agreement. Now you've got DAZN having to deal with the TV rights in the US. For Anthony Joshua. Now Anthony Joshua has a specific distributor for his US TV rights that the US fighters aren't on. All of that means that the likelihood of major fights happening go down. And and your value for the dollar that you spend goes down. The likelihood of you getting to see the fight that you really want to see goes down. Your cost for seeing the fights that are available go up. So you get, with more television networks, and you can call them streaming, you can call them lineal, whatever the fancy new word is that the business and marketing people snap on it to make themselves sound like they're shoveling a new, like they're selling you a new brand of dog shit. Whatever the new terms are, that's what it turns into. And the fact of the matter is, at least in my opinion, that monopolies are better for the fight fan. Monopolies are good for the fight fan. This broadcaster competition is good for boxers. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different angle, because like I said, there are 2 parties to an agreement. There are the boxer, the boxing thing, and the fan. The boxer is providing the service, and we, the fans, are providing the money. And everybody else is a middleman. Everybody else. The promoter's the middleman, the venue's a middleman, the distribution network or distribution streaming service, all of them are middlemen. Every one of them. The trainer, you can put him along with the boxer because he's preparing the boxer. But they're manager, all middlemen. When you have a bunch of networks that are all trying to throw money at boxers to get them to fight on their platform and pay them money, the boxer then gets to choose between, or really the promoter, actually. The promoter gets to say, or in the case of a self-promoted boxer, they get to say that the promoter gets to say, if I don't like what this distribution network is doing, then I'll go to this other one. If you're not going to give me this amount of licensing fees or whatever the money whatever the term it is that they use, or however they cut up the money in the categories for payment, right? Whether that's licensing fees or whatever it is, right? I don't like what you do, ESPN, then when my contract's up, I'll go over to DAZN. If I don't like what DAZN is giving me, my cut, I'll take my fighters to HBO. I'll take my fighters to Showtime. I need for you to give me more money for less risk. right? I want to, because that's what a promoter wants. A promoter wants to make sure he gets as many fights out of his fighter as he can get and make the most money that he can make off of that. Fighter too. The fighter wants to give as many fights as he can, right, to make the most money he can without doing the least amount of damage to his body. That's the business side of boxing that they talk about. The business side of boxing for the fighter, the business side of boxing for the promoter. But the business side of what about the business side of boxing for the people who are providing the money to the fighter and the promoter? I want to see the best fights that I can see for the least amount of money. That's why I was a big supporter of the PBC when they were trying to create a model where advertisers could pay and we could watch the fights on free TV. But dummies who just want to hate on Al Heyman or want to just, believe whatever this crappy, sorry ass boxing media feed at them, like this crap. Dazn entering into boxing creates a healthy broadcaster competition, as if I'm a broadcaster. Who are you writing the article for? The broadcaster? Or is the broadcaster paying you and hoping that people don't catch on that they're not broadcasters? I'm not a broadcaster. I'm a boxing fan. Now I'm a boxing fan that's got to pay $10 for DAZN. I got to pay $5 for ESPN Plus. I got to pay my regular cable bill that I pay for ESPN. I got to pay for Showtime. I got to pay for HBO. I got to pay for pay-per-view on HBO's pay-per-view. I got HBO's Showtime pay-per-view. And the whole time you got these moronic ass boxing fans that don't know shit from Shinola talking about, oh, who gets the most money per fight? I actually did a video where I was like, if Tyson Fury fights Deontay Wilder, then Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder can make a lot of money. And when I walked through the numbers, although I made the argument, it didn't get missed on me the fact that the gate from the MG, wherever they would have it in Vegas, comes from the fight fans that are getting charged too much to watch the fight in the first place. And the pay-per-view that could be $50 a pop minimum and up to $70 a pop. And UK fans are paying 17 to 19 pounds a pop and staying up to 4 o'clock in the morning to provide all of this money that's going into the hands of the fighters. But you gotta kick, scream, claw, bribe, blackmail these boxers like Keith Thurman and Anthony Joshua to actually get in the ring and fight somebody that we want to see them fight. Or guys like Mikey Garcia, oh, I don't want to argue long enough with Lomachenko, so I don't want to talk to Bob Arum because Bob Arum, I don't like how he talks to me. It's too hard to deal with him, so I'll just move up and fight somebody else and not fight Lomachenko. It'll be so much easier for me to get beat up by Errol Spence, and I'll still have an excuse, a marketing excuse, and I'll just move back down. Excuse me for that. I got the sniffles. Man, I just think it's time for boxing fans to think like boxing fans and stop trying to act like you are Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is a millionaire and is going to make millions of dollars off of this himself. Anthony Joshua's making millions of dollars. Errol Spence Jr. probably has, Errol Spence is making millions of dollars. Danny Garcia is making millions of dollars. Anthony Joshua's making millions of dollars. And you clowns I think I might have said Deontay Wilder already, but you clowns that think Deontay Wilder's a multimillionaire. Calling him broke and saying stupid crap like he's only making $2.5 million a fight. That's $2.5 million more than you got, more than likely. That's $2.5 million. Oh, let me be more correct. How much for 36 minutes of fights do you make? No, you pay for it. He gets $2.5 million. You pay $50. Fight fans are not broadcasters. We're not promoters. We're the people that pay for the fight. And if people really understood, the boxers don't need a union. Boxing fans need a union. God, dog. They milk the shit out of boxing fans. Just milk you dry. I got the money to pay. For y'all smart behinds that want to talk about, whoa, what do you do? Dude, I'm cool. I can afford to pay for all of that crap. But that doesn't mean that I should have to pay for all of that crap. And if I do pay for it, I want the best that I can get. I would pay $50 to see Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I would pay $50, $60. I might pay $100 to see Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Or Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. But I don't want to give the zone $120 over the course of the year to maybe watch a fight. Maybe watch a fight a month on that channel. Maybe once a month I'll watch their fights. Which means I'm paying them $10 a month. And they're hoping I'm going to forget to unsubscribe. Or I'll resubscribe when it comes up when they show another fight that I actually want to see. Instead of watching fights like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Gabriel Rosado or some crap like that. I'm paying extra money for that. Get out of here. Anyway, it is what it is. With that, I'm out. Peace.